Welcome back, CATatoes, to my channel for a new episode of the K-Drama Legacy Generation 1 Fisherman's Daughter Episode 2. So in the last episode, we met Yoonah and her family, and just so you can get more familiar with them, here we have her mother Soa, her father Jinhae, and her little sister Hanul. Then we also got to meet her best friend Min, who she's known since childhood, and also her father's best friend Sangho. She was able to get a job at one of the local restaurants as a dishwasher and came home to find out that her mom has set her up on a blind date with someone from town, and that's where it leads us to the start of today's episode. It was Thursday night, after I had gotten off work, that I went over to Min's house to hang out for a bit. That's when I told her about the date my mom was setting me up on.
She did what? A blind date? Like, with who?
Min sat with her mouth wide open in shock. Yeah, you know how my mom was pretty strict and pushy when I was in school. Well, now that I'm finished with that, she's moved on to the next thing on her list of importance, my love life. Min sat back down on her bed, processing the information. I get that she wanted you to be successful in school and all, but why butt into your love life? That seems pretty invasive. I let out a sigh. Well, I think it's because she and my dad were high school sweethearts. So, they got married and had kids pretty early on. But honestly, I'm pretty sure she just wants grandkids. If the world had felt the eye roll Min did, there would have been earthquakes popping up all over the Richter scale. Seriously? That's like so old-fashioned. My parents could care less about my love life, but I guess that could be because they're focused on my older brother. But anyways, so what are you gonna do? She asked. I looked up at the ceiling with another sigh. Well, what else? I'm gonna go on the date. I promised her I would. Besides, she didn't say anything about marrying him. I just have to go on the date. Min tapped her cheek thoughtfully, and then an idea struck. Hey, do you happen to know his name at all? I had to think for a minute to remember what Mom had said, but finally recalled. Hakun Wong, I think. Without hesitation, Min grabbed her phone and began typing wildly. I looked at her curiously and asked, "What are you doing now?" "What do you think?" she giggled. "I'm looking him up on SimBook. Don't know about you, but I'd rather go in not blind." A few minutes went by in silence. Finally, Min let out a whine of disgust. Seriously? This guy is concerning. He doesn't even have a SimBook. I can't find him anywhere. She threw her phone across the bed in agitation. "When even is your date?" she asked. I looked at her and let out a small, short laugh. Tomorrow night, after work." She gaped at me for a moment. That's short notice. However, if you think I'm about to let you go on a date looking like that, you've got another thing coming. We may not know what Mr. Mystery Man looks like, but that doesn't mean we can't make you look like $1,000,000. Come straight here after work and I'll get you all ready. I knew there was no point fighting against Min. If there was one thing she loved, it was making people over. She had that glint in her eye I only knew too well. I flashed her a smile. You got it, boss. The night of the date arrived quicker than I had thought. Work was bustling since the weekend was approaching, so the kitchen was pretty backed up. I washed them as fast as I could, which made the time fly. I arrived outside the restaurant at the agreed-upon time and spoke with the receptionist. He informed me that Mr. Wong had already arrived and was waiting for me. At least he wasn't late. I followed behind him as he led me past dozens of tables. I felt a bit awkward and overdressed. Count on Min to make me go the extra mile. Finally, we stopped, and the receptionist gestured toward the table. A tall, dark-haired man stood up, turned, and bowed. To be honest, he wasn't all that bad looking. He seemed polite, a bit serious, had a bit of wavy hair and glasses. He motioned for me to take a seat across from him, so I did. There was silence for a moment, but he finally spoke up. "My name is Hakun Wong. You must be Miss Yu." I smiled and nodded my head. "It's a pleasure to meet you. My mother tells me you recently graduated from high school. Tell me, what are your future plans and goals?" I blinked, taken aback. He really gets straight to the point, doesn't he? Well, better just roll with it. Oh, I'm just working at a restaurant here in town right now. I'd like to open one myself eventually. He stared at me for a moment before responding. I see. So, you plan on working and putting family on the back burner. You know, as a woman, you should have your goals be more focused on creating your future family and preparing for a home life. I could feel the veins in my temple twitching in agitation. Who did this guy think he was? Needless to say, I'm pretty sure this won't work out. Not that I was planning for it to anyways. I fake laughed and did my best to brush his comment off by turning the conversation around back to him. The idea worked flawlessly. Turns out he's pretty narcissistic and fell right into it. One thing was for sure though, I couldn't wait for this date to end. Yoonah is still currently on her date with Hakun, and things are just kind of awkward. Like, she's tried to make casual conversation. You know, she's been asking him questions. We did get to know him, and for some reason, of course, because it's The Sims, they swapped seats, and oh my gosh, she just glitched out of it. So, of course, you know, the dinner situation is always really fun and exciting. But she has here out to dinner. Delicious. There's nothing like going out to dinner for a big meal. The chefs can really cook. So she is a big fan of this restaurant. But I need to tell you guys, while she was sitting here talking, I actually had her get like not a sentiment, but a moodlet I'd never seen before. And it said uncaring. And then it had said nothing to do about it. This sim is not inspiring any kinship with Yoonah. And that was from talking with Hakun. And I thought that was really interesting, and I couldn't have asked for anything better just for this whole situation. But it does say when we look at his profile here that he's a perfectionist. So we found that out. He's currently unemployed. I think he's in the application process for some big companies. And he looks like he's in a club called the Punchlines, which it's hard to imagine him being comedic. Like, he doesn't strike me as that. Apparently we have good compatibility, but I think maybe as just being like locals in the same town they're okay with, but I don't think they could be much more. Look, she's literally texting because she has nothing else to talk with him about. So it looks like they just got their food, and oh my gosh, of course, he got himself some kind of super bougie fish meal and a Simsmopolitan. And then our girl over here, she just got herself some herb crusted salmon and a flamin' zesty, I think it was. Yeah, because our girl here is flaming zesty salt. She just needs something aflame to get her through the rest of this date. And it is getting late, so she just wants to kind of hurry up. But he's been just like talking to her about his future and his plans to work at this really big, famous company. And he's got some big goals. He wants to have a wife that stays at home with all the kids, and he wants someone that is just going to be there to take care of the house and himself, and that is just not Yoonah's cup of tea. And he seems very self-centered and whatnot, so that's something that we will have to keep in our minds. But we know, of course, Yoonah knows her mom is going to want to know all about this date and what happened, and so she is not really looking forward to that conversation because she knows her mom's like been really looking forward to it and is like really hopeful. So she's just gonna have to be honest with her mom about it. And of course, her best friend Mean is like dying to know. I'm pretty sure that's who she was texting. She's like, oh my gosh, are you still on the date? She's like, yes, I'll tell you all about it later. So it seems like he has been too preoccupied, honestly, with taking Simstagram pictures here to post and put them on Social Bunny and whatnot. So just very strange. But guys, just look at how beautiful this restaurant is. Like, you see this gorgeous scene out this window. Isn't it stunning and so peaceful? The beautiful island night sky. You got some fishies jumping up. And yes, let me show you guys the restaurant. Here we go. This is what it looks like. It is called the Sand Bar. And so, yep, it is just a local hot spot. So our girl is here. And she's hoping one day she could work here. She would love that. But anyways, this date is going on for quite a while. We are needing it to end. So I'm going to go ahead and have her finish up, and then we will say our goodbyes to Hakun. I paused it to show you guys this, but we're literally finishing the meal. We're about to pay for the table, and it says, too full of yourself. This other Sim's airs of being full of themselves are not gaining them any favor in Yoonah's eyes. So things are seriously not going well with Hakun. Like, yeah, their like friendship acquaintance bar has gone up because she's just getting used to his personality, but for a romantic relationship, it's definitely not for her. These two have left the restaurant and Yoonah has come out here to say her farewells to him. She's like, thank you so much for dinner. It was really delicious. I appreciate you taking the time. And he's like, of course, absolutely. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. But I'll be honest, I don't think this is going to work out between us. And she's like, oh, trying to act shocked. And she's like, oh, okay, well, thank you for your honesty. He's like, of course, ma'am. I hope you have a great night. So I love how she's just smiling awkwardly, and he's like trying to make casual conversation now about the weather. But yeah, can we just tell him to go away? It is the next morning, and Yoonah got home around like 2:30 a.m. So she literally went straight to bed. Her mom and sister were already in bed. Her dad was actually up cooking, and when she got home, and she was like, "What are you doing still up?" And of course, her dad was like, "Well, we're heading out to sea early today, so I'll see you later, kiddo." So she was sad to see him go, but she knows that his life is out on the sea, and he absolutely loves that. And so literally Soa has just been walking around. She is dying to know how things went last night. She's like, when is my daughter going to wake up? I need to know all the details. And she's like, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to the other woman from the fish market. So basically, let me explain this. So when she goes to the fish market, there's a lot of other ladies there and whatnot. And so the ladies there were all talking about their children. And so one of them was like, oh, my son's looking for someone. And so that was what happened. So she hasn't had a chance to talk to that lady either. So yeah. But anyways, we're going to get her mom to come in here and eat some breakfast. Before the dad left, he made some wild nut soup, and so he made that for everybody. Oh, and it looks like Yoonah is heading off to work already. Oh, poor thing. She's so stinky. She's had such a rough time. So, all right, there she goes. And then it looks like Siine, he received a raise. So he's given a raise as deep sea fishing master for superior work performance. So that is awesome. He is doing really well. Oh, he received a bonus too. Great. So the dad is coming in, and Soa's like, so have you had a chance to talk to Yoonah? He is like, oh, well, I saw her when she came in. She got home around 2:30. She's like, 2:30? And oh, it must have gone great then if she stayed out that late. He's like, yeah, I don't know. She didn't talk about it. She was just really tired, and so I let her go on to bed. And so, of course, I was like, oh, that's useless, Siine. Why did you have to tell me that? Like, I wanted more details than that. Now I have to wait till she gets home from work. So, yeah, she's just having a rough morning. Hanul has gotten home from school, and she too has come over to ask her dad. She's like, hey, so do we know anything about how Yoonah's date went last night? And he is just like, nope, your mom's still waiting too, but your sister went off to work, so nobody knows. But she did make these beautiful tri-colored dongos, so she is enjoying that little after-school treat from her sis. And her mom and dad have been just having some nice alone time together today. Soa just finished doing the laundry, it looks like. This still needs to finish drying before we can do anything else. Oh, it looks like dad's getting himself some dongos as well. And so we do need to have Hanul work on her homework, but I am thinking that Yoonah here should be able to get a promotion from assistant dishwasher, so this might be her lucky day. Even though her date went pretty rough last night, I think she's in for a good afternoon. Yoonah should be back any second now, and she was promoted. She did it. She is now the head dishwasher. So she'll make an additional 1 simoleon per hour for a grand total of 16. She has also received a 334 simoleon bonus, a corporate chic countertop, and her next shift is at 9 a.m. So 9 to 5. So not too bad of a shift, but she is slowly moving up, and poor thing, she had a rough day at work. She is so dirty and gross, but you know, she had to work hard for that promotion, and so she's really proved herself to her boss. And so, you know, she's still in the kitchen cleaning dishes, but hey, now she can tell the other people to get started on the really crappy dishes while she does the less crappy ones, you know what I mean? And so anyways, Hanul is working on her homework. It looks like Soa is over here helping her. She is like, honey, absolutely, you have got to focus on your studies and make me proud. And so while Hanul is like what's a good word for it? She's rebellious, but not so much on the actual schoolwork. Like, she's doing fine technically in academics. Like, she doesn't really have an issue with that. And she knows that's a main way to keep her mom off her back. But she's more free-spirited in that in her extracurricular time. She likes to go off and do a lot of other things that her mom probably wouldn't want her doing. So, yeah, it looks like Yoonah, she is feeling tense. And, oh, I really want to be friends with someone, but they don't seem to really want to be friends with me. How can I make them my friend? So I think she's asking this to her mom, it looks like. So just keep being friendly. Make one grand friendly gesture. You can't force friendship. Her mom would say, just keep being friendly, honey. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. And so, okay. Oh, and my gosh. And look at Hanul's cute outfit. Honey, yes, you look so cute. I don't know why my Sims keep having like leg and arm hair growing. Like, I swear I've gone into cast multiple times to turn it off, and it's still happening. Like, look, even Yoonah's like looking at her sister like, girl, you better shave that. But Yoonah is coming out here because she knows her mom has been waiting to talk with her about everything. And so she's like, oh gosh, here it goes. She's like, hey mom, I'm home. She's like, oh honey, tell me, how did the date go last night? How was Hakun Wong? And she's like, well, he was an interesting character, that's for sure. She's like, well, did you guys hit it off? She's like, well, actually, he's pretty old-fashioned. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, he told me that I should put all my focus on my home life and staying at home and not really planning my own like future, like in a career. And she's like, well, I mean, he has a point. You want to make sure that you're focused on family. And she's like, oh my gosh, mom, like I am, but I still have my own dreams. And her mom's like, okay, well, why don't you guys could spend a little bit more time, maybe see if there was just a misunderstanding between you two. And look, she's so agitated. She's like, mom, that's not how it's going to work. He literally told me I don't think this is going to work at the end of the day anyway. So, and it's just over, mom. Like, I'm not going to go see him again. Like, if I see him around town, fine, but I'm not going to be in a relationship with him. And her mom's like, fine, honey. Well, I'll just find someone else for you to go on a date with, so don't you worry. And Yoonah is so agitated. She's like, mom, I'm not worried. I'm really not. So please don't put yourself out trying to find someone for me, because I'm totally cool not having anyone. So, okay, anyways, that was a little rough. So we're going to let her go ahead and get some leftovers. She can watch some TV in here while she, let's see, we'll watch the Dream Home Decorator Network, sure. Even though this is literally not what that is. But yeah, so that way she can just relax, see what's going on elsewhere, get her mind off of everything. She still needs to contact Min and let her know how things went. She's been texting her nonstop, and she's like, just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And so Yoonah literally sent her just a straight thumbs down, like a, sorry girl, it's just not happening. I'm not with it. And to continue to help her get her mind off of things, she has decided to go out for a jog with Baram for the night before she heads off to bed. And she's been like venting to her dog as she's been jogging. She was like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this guy. I don't think you would even approve of him. Like, but mom, man, I just don't know what she wants. It's like, she literally just wants me to stay at home and not worry about anything. But doesn't mom have any other dreams? Like, I mean, I guess her dream was just to have a family, and I guess that's okay. And I mean, I want a family too in the future, but I want some other things too. So like, I just don't know why she's like that. So it's been very frustrating for her. She just doesn't know what to do with all this information. Look, her dad's headed off to the beach. He's like, gonna head for a swim, got some more fish to catch. He is always in the ocean. He is a fish basically himself. But yeah, so she is just trying to let off her steam, and it is helping her to feel more inspired and confident. And especially after going to that restaurant, she is feeling just a little titch of inspiration, seeing all those different recipes and seeing like how the chefs were there and how good the food was. Like, it's really inspired her and motivated her to want to try even harder and to get, new recipes down and to find new ways to just bring people joy, through their stomach, because she loves how food brings people together. And so she wants to be able to do that for others too. But obviously, even though the food was super delicious at the restaurant, that food, there was no way it was going to bring her and Hakun Wong together.
Yoonah has woken up this morning feeling a little bit better after being able to do her jog last night. She is currently communing with some of the island spirits that are floating around in her room, which is helping her to feel, I think, good and connected. Like, can we do anything else with any of these or not? I don't think so. But anyways, so things have been going pretty good. We need her to come in here and grab some breakfast for herself. She's talking with her sister and chatting. She's feeling energized. Island energy, buoyed by this spiritual vigor. There is no rest for the righteous, and that is from communing with the spirit. So something did happen, which is good. And Hanul, I think she heads off to school here very shortly. So we'll have her go ahead and use the bathroom. But we do have work for Yoonah today. She looks like she actually already has the skills needed for another promotion, but she has to prove her ability to perform to her boss before they are just willing to promote her again. So it'll probably be a couple of days before she can do that. But it is her last day of work for the week. And so after work is over, she is planning on going to visit with Min and to hang out at her house because she wants to know, of course, as we mentioned, everything about the date, how it went, and of course she wants to know how she felt with her makeover that she gave to her. Yoonah has gotten off work and headed straight over to Min. She had to freshen up herself a little bit though beforehand. But yeah, so she's been telling her all about the date and she's like, are you serious? Like, that guy sounds like a total loser. No wonder he doesn't have a sim book. Like, are you kidding me? Thank goodness you guys aren't hitting it off because whew, I think you dodged a bullet with that one. And she pretty much agrees. And so she is relieved to know that oh my gosh, that Min thinks that with her. And so we have in here, these are Min's parents. You have Doyeon. Doyeon is her father. And then you also have, this is Bongcha, and that is her mother. And then you have Junsong. And Jun is her older brother. So this is the one who she mentioned that they are pretty focused on. So we're going to come and chat with her brother because I think he was hearing Min talk about her blind date. And he's like, so I heard you were going on a blind date. Do you want to share the story? We always love a good story in our family. And she's like, well, I guess I could tell all of you. So yeah, this guy, his name was Hakun Wong. And he seems like a nice, polite guy. He's pretty serious, but like he literally basically wants a wife that wants no goals or dreams for herself other than just having kids. And Min's mom isn't that old-fashioned, so she's like, well, I get that that's what some people want. She's like, but good for you for knowing that that's not what you want. And so she's glad to know that they agree with her rather than her mom's. Just, she feels like her mom was kind of taking Hakun's side, and she's not really cool with that. But also, guys, you see their cat? Her name is Queen Cupcake. And I love her. She's so fluffy. Look at that sass. You saw that sass in her walk. But yeah, she's just been having a good time. Oh, it looks like her brother went to sleep, but he thought that that was a pretty funny story. He's never met Hakun Wong before, so he doesn't know him very well. He knows that he is the son of one of the ladies from the fish market, and because all the moms basically in town kind of know each other, but this is a son that was visiting from out of town, and so he's been staying for a little bit with his mom, so that's why no one really knows him too much, because they haven't lived on the island their whole life, that family, the Wong family. So anyways, Yoonah is coming out just for a nighttime swim to just clear her mind and just to let it all sink in. And plus she's happy that things seem to be a lot better at work too since she got that promotion. Like, it has been a lot easier. She doesn't have all the crappy jobs to do, and she's like kind of over everybody in the kitchen area, at least that does the cleaning. And so, but she has another promotion in her sights and she's feeling pretty good about it. So we're gonna hope for the best for her. But it looks like Min and her parents are still in here talking. They're like, oh, well, that's wonderful that she's going on dates and things, but do you think her mom's being a little too harsh? And Doyeon's kind of like, well, to each family their own. And Min's like, you guys wouldn't do that to me, right? And her mom's like, of course not, honey. We wouldn't do that to you. Like, I mean, I know you've got your own goals and things, but I don't worry about you in that department. Whenever it happens, it happens. And her dad's like, yeah, what your mother said. Like, I don't want to get involved in your romance life. You're my little girl. I don't want to think about it. And she's like, oh my gosh, Dad. Like, I'm going to date someone eventually. But this poor cat is probably just starving cupcakes. Like, excuse me, family. Are you going to feed me? Because that's what I'm waiting on. Look at her. She's just pacing back and forth, that sass. She's like, feed me now. Which, guys, okay, short story here. While we are out here just swimming and having a good old time with these giant disturbing fish, I had let my cat outside in the backyard, and then I went to the store, and when I came back, he was gone. Like, he never leaves the backyard ever. And so I freaked out, and so I was walking around the neighborhood. I couldn't find him, so I decided to start driving to go look for him. And so I did, and I'm gonna have them come and swim together. I feel like it's more fun to have your friends. But yeah, so I was looking for him, and then I got in my car and pulled up, right when I get out of my driveway, there's a stop sign right there. And right when I got to the stop sign, I saw this cat walking past a house, this fence by someone's house across the street. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's him. And I ran over and I got him, and I was so happy and relieved to see him. And so he is safely back home, but I was so scared I was going to have to do a lost cat post. He has a collar on that has my name and phone number and everything on there, but it was scary for a whole 0.5 seconds. But yeah, he is happy and safe. I picked him up, brought him home right away, gave him some extra food and treats because I love him. And yeah, but all right, so it looks like Min came out to join us for a swim, but of course she's just hanging out over here. We're going to talk about cooking with her because yeah, we are besties, and she knows all about our love for the what do I want to call it? The grill, the stove, everything. Where are you going, girl? Oh, it looks like she's coming in here because she wants to talk to Min's mom. She's like, do you think you could talk to my mom about what she's doing? She's like, well, honey, I'll think about it. I'll see what I can do. But, I don't want to push your mother's buttons too hard. Each family is a little bit different with their traditions and what they like to do. And, yeah. She's not too happy about it, but guys, doesn't she look adorable in this swimsuit? I love this swimsuit. She'd be looking so cute, but we need to get her home. I didn't realize that it's midnight, and I don't know why her mom's going in her daughter's bed. But we'll go ahead and tell Min goodbye. We'll have to do something again very soon with her. So affection, let's give her a hug. And we're like, thanks so much for being there for me and for dressing me up. I did feel confident and really felt beautiful. So thanks so much. She's like, of course, your next date, you know who to call. So let's head on back home. Yoonah is back home. It is, of course, the middle of the night once again, and her dad is up because of he's got such a strange schedule because of just the fishing life. And for some reason when Yoonah got home, she was full energy, but her mom and her sister are in bed asleep like normal people at this time of day. But yeah, I think maybe she's just feeling excited from her swim. She had a good swim to relieve her stress. She has a deep connection. She had delicious food. She likes being homey, warm heart. After spending time with a supportive family member, Yoonah has all the warm fuzzy feels in her heart because if you guys remember, her and her dad, they have a supportive relationship, and she's already reached cooking level 5. So she's learned the recipe for French toast and fish and chips. She also unlocked the gourmet cooking skill and will receive the competent cook moodlet when cooking. And so currently right now she is busy making a raspberry pie for the family, and that way they have something delicious for their weekend snack or meal. And it looks like she's still feeling really good from communing with the spirits. And yeah, her food was just so delicious. And then her dad is also having a great morning. But I love seeing them just have that time to bond with one another because it's such an important thing to do. And I love just the relationship between her and her dad. But she knows that she does need to get some rest. So she's just going to finish up this pie, and then we will see everyone tomorrow.
Actually, I lied. Just kidding. We're not going to, we are going to see everyone tomorrow, but I'm not going to disappear quite yet. So her dad actually came in here to chat with her. He's like, so your mom is wanting to go to the fish market in the morning because it's Sunday. It's one of the big days. So will you be able to go down there and help her? She's like, are you serious? Like, do I have to go again? I thought it was Hanul's turn. And he's like, well, Hanul, she's got some extra credit assignment she needs to do because your mom is not happy with how her grades have turned out at the moment. So, could you just do it for your mom, okay? Do it for me. And I've got a lot of great fish, and I know it's going to make us some good money this time. And she's like, fine. He's like, plus, your mom needs to pick up a few more ingredients for the next week or so. So definitely go and help her out. So she's agreed. She's like, fine, what time are we supposed to go? He's like, well, it's supposed to be pretty early in the morning. So honestly, in about 3 hours. So she's like, fine, okay, I'll go take a nap and I'll wait for mom. So guys, she is going to have a busy morning at the fish market. Since she is feeling quite energized and all that still, she is just spending her time cleaning and whatnot. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Also, side note, this pie looks delicious and it's excellent quality once again. And I think, yep, competent cook. So she is feeling really confident from that. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. So thank you so much, Tater Tots, for joining me on another new episode of our K-Drama Legacy. I hope you really enjoyed this and the story at the beginning. I had a lot of fun putting that together, and I'm excited for the next episode. So, if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you next time. See ya!